Before I start my NXT review tonight, I'm going to take a moment to acknowledge that Billie Kay made her debut on SmackDown this week. So that's a thing.
There's gonna be a fight tonight!
What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz, Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, here with your June 29th NXT, I was almost going to say Raw, NXT review. You guys know from last week, I was looking forward to one thing and one thing only, and that's Alexa Bliss versus Carmella. Because they made hints, they sort of made overtones that it was a #1 contenders match. They didn't really, I don't think they said it outright, but I think the feeling is there. Carmella's already had a shot at the women's title, and, you know, Alexa Bliss has yet to get a fair shot, I don't think. Not on a big stage, not on a takeover or any situation where we actually thought she was going to win, shall we say. She hasn't been given the same chances as, you know, the girls that are on the main roster now. Carmella, Bayley, Asuka, Nia Jax, etc. So, the bummer about all this, and this is one of those things where NXT has a lot of women's main events, and I figured that I didn't read the spoilers for this week because I knew this match was coming up. But I figured this match would be the main event, but it's the first match of the night, which doesn't change my opinion of the match. I think the match was great. Carmella, you know, I'm kind of wishy-washy on Carmella, but Carmella held her own tonight. And obviously, Alexa Bliss is just fucking killing it in NXT. Alexa Bliss, I will keep saying it until I don't think it's true anymore. Alexa Bliss is the best heel on NXT. That is just, like, I'm not saying, like, oh, she's the best bad girl diva or bad girl women's wrestler. No. Sorry. I keep thinking I have something in my teeth and I actually don't, and that'll actually throw you more off than if you actually do. Period. She is the best heel, period, on NXT. But we got Alexa Bliss and Carmella just to start it off. Collar and elbow tie-up twice. They do the collar and elbow tie-up and it's tight and it's stiff into the corner. The referee pulls them out. They got to start again. Collar and elbow tie-up again. Tackle by Bliss, who stands on the neck, which is nice. Trip by Carmella, a snapmare by Bliss, a head scissor by Carmella, which is decent, a drop kick, and then Bliss bails to the outside. Back in the ring, kitchen sink and a snapmare by Carmella, and a headlock, which is where I would usually do my, you know, she grabs a headlock because she's a heel, but Carmella's a babyface, so yeah. Side headlock by Bliss, who throws Carmella's head into the apron. Here's the deal. Pushes her out through the ropes to the outside. Alexa Bliss is in the ring. Carmella's on the outside of the ring, but she grabs the back of Carmella's hair and brings her sort of straight down in a really, really loose takedown scenario, but she goes head first into the corner of the ring, which most commentators, including Corey Graves, will tell you is the hardest part of the ring. Coming back from commercial break, we have an arm bar by Bliss, an arm breaker, and double knees to the gut. We're working the arm, we're working the midsection. It's all fucking fantastic. Back elbow by Carmella, and a head scissor and a Bronco Buster. The pose, the little spastic, and yeah, this is me saying this, but the little spastic pose thing that she does before the Bronco Buster is a little unsettling. She's got, I normally don't talk about near falls in matches unless they fit into the story of the match, but Carmella, after the Bronco Buster, has a couple of second series of what looked like very desperate pin attempts, but Alexa Bliss sort of recomposes herself, does that, they still haven't given it a name, but basically it's a chokeslam position into a leg sweep takedown, and it's a really decent looking little move. It's almost like a choke trip, and then hits Carmella with the Twisted Bliss, which is the new name that they have for the Sparkle Splash. I think it's a much better name, especially because she's a heel. Ryder, Ryder, Raw. Alexa Bliss gets the win. It's fucking fantastic. Alexa Bliss taken away from the two anchors that were Blake and Murphy. It's all good. She wins the match. She looks great. Carmella didn't look bad in this match. I will keep saying that because I as I say, my opinion on Carmella is very mixed. Sometimes she's good, sometimes she's kind of shit. She was really good in this match. She did what she needed to do, and what she needed to do tonight was lose to Alexa Bliss. Oh yes. We replay the scene from 2 weeks ago on NXT where the conversation between Balor and Nakamura, the challenge, the acceptance, and then we get some backstage comments from Nakamura. And now here's where I gotta disagree with a lot of people that Nakamura is not marketable. He can't be a main eventer in the WWE because he can't speak very good English, so his promo skills are going to suffer. Ryder, Ryder, Raw. This backstage little interview thing that he did, sort of out of character, like he's not in his whole, like, I want to be Michael Jackson get up. He's just sitting there in his regular workout, whatever, clothes, and he's just talking about knowing Balor and how how they have history in Japan and Roddy Raw. For any of us out there that aren't smarks and don't watch every commercial or every minor league that's out there, there's something like this where you just sort of glaze over it. So, there's a built-in story, so NXT writers don't have to do that much, which I think works in NXT. Not so much on the main roster, where you got somebody like AJ Styles, and WWE just kind of expects us to know who the Bullet Club are. I mean, we all do, but it feels like lazy booking. Here, it's just like, yeah, by the way, I've known this guy for a while. It's going to be really cool to wrestle him again. There's no hate. There's no heat. This was really, really good. And for a one-sided sit-down interview type deal with Nakamura, who people are shitting on his verbal skills from what I've seen on Twitter and other places, you can't touch the guy in the ring. That's a thing. But people were saying that his struggles with English were going to hold him back. And I didn't think so before, and after this, especially not. Not bad at all. In the back, Bayley's in the back, cutting another happy babyface Bayley promo about how it's just so great to be here. Alexa Bliss puts her in her place, says she doesn't deserve another shot at the women's title. If she wants a shot at the women's title, she's got to go through Alexa. Which is true, because she's beaten other people. She beat Carmella, who very recently was a #1 contender for the women's title. She hasn't been able to face Bayley until now, because Bayley was out with an injury. Roddy Raw, it's all good. You gotta have some shit, don't you? Noah Potjes took on Andrade Cien Almas. I didn't take notes for this match, because I don't care. This Noah dude is creepy as hell looking. I still don't care about Andrade Cien Almas, who I'm going to be referring to as ACA from now on. His running knee finisher thing isn't a finisher. It's really, really not. It's awkward in the same way that Alberto Del Rio's double stomp is awkward. It's sort of anticlimactic, doesn't work as a finisher. I don't believe it as a finisher. But as I have even less investment in the guy that he was facing tonight, I care even less. And it doesn't help that the guys on commentary are making Noah's Ark jokes through the whole match. For reasons, because the guy's name is Noah. ACA gets the win, and I really don't care. Backstage, Aries cuts a promo on the crowd about how he's worked here, he's worked there, he's worked everywhere, he's built himself up a good name. That's why he's, at the A-double level and all that sort of thing. These people here in NXT don't respect that, and they would rather cheer for some jobber shaking his ass like No Way Jose. And then he goes on, he proceeds to cut an amazing, I won't say amazing, but pretty damn good, and puts a smile on my face promo, just taking the complete piss out of No Way Jose, which is always going to make me smile. We've already heard comments from Nakamura, now we hear comments from Balor. Basically the same thing. They both literally say in their promo, he knows my family, I know his family. They say it verbatim from each other's interviews. So that, it's a little contrived. It's a little on the nose, if you know what I mean. But it is what it is. Backstage, we get the announcement that Bayley is going to take on Alexa Bliss next week. Oh, and fuck yes. I'm a happy kid. Here's the deal, right? Face versus face or heel versus heel usually doesn't work. There is an exceptional number of times in NXT where face versus face has worked. See Bayley versus Asuka. You can't depend on that working all the time. You have to have a strong babyface, which Asuka is. Asuka falls into the same category as Nakamura. Not the greatest English skills, not the greatest mic skills, but who gives a fuck? Look what she can do in the ring. I'm sorry, I know that flies in the face of a lot of people who think that storytelling is better than match quality. You're wrong. I'm just putting that one out there. NXT and the NXT universe deserve to see Alexa Bliss presented properly versus Asuka for the women's championship at a takeover. It needs to happen. So much as everybody loves Bayley, as much as Bayley is in that Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, Sami Zayn, Nakamura, you're not allowed to cheer against her, whatever. I will not be cheering for Bayley next week. No. The Hype Bros versus Gargano and Champa, and this is really, really good. For those, I know what people think of the Hype Bros, specifically what they think of Zack Ryder, but this And then you got two favorites in there like Gargano and Champa. But you gotta. I actively encourage you, if you did not watch. Obviously, if you didn't watch NXT, you're not going to be watching my review probably. But if you didn't watch NXT, go back and watch it. If you did watch NXT, go back and look at it again. But listen to what I say, because Gargano and Champa always look good, but Ryder and Rawley look really fucking good in this match. And this was the main event. There's only 3 matches. You got the women's match that went 2 segments. You got the, Jobber Almas versus other creepy Jobber Noah's Ark gimmick schnibbits over there. But then you've got this. And this is your main event. And it's really fucking good. And okay, even me, I like the Hype Bros. But I still take them as somewhat of a feel-good comedy. I don't expect a match like this out of them, and it was really good. And I'm really hyping it up, no pun intended, because it deserves it. Mojo and Gargano start a side headlock by Gargano, chop block by Mojo, slingshot splash by Ryder, clothesline by Ryder, drop kick by Gargano, rolling kick by Gargano, neckbreaker by Champa, front face lock by Champa, facebuster by Ryder. All 4 men brawl to the outside to the ramp as we go to commercial break. Enziguri by Gargano when we get back from the break, a rolling clotheslines by Champa, a double knee lift and a top rope drop kick by Ryder, corner splash to Gargano, and a tackle to Champa by Mojo as he's mojoing up, I guess. Super kick by Gargano on the outside of the ring. Discus clothesline to Champa on the inside of the ring. Mojo powerbomb. Here's the cool little thing here. Gargano and Champa have Ryder up on the top rope. They're going to double suplex him. They're both standing on the second rope, but Ryder blocks. Mojo comes up from under both of them and power bombs both of them, one hand each, off the second turnbuckle. It's not something we have never seen before, but it looked really good. It sort of accentuates the whole you got tag teams that are power and speed. You got the speed, the charisma of a guy like Zack Ryder, and also the recognition because he's been around forever. And then you got the power of like the blunt instrument that is Mojo Rawley, and it works. I lost my place. Elbow drop by Ryder. Mojo eats the steps on the outside. Clothesline by Champa, and a really cool like sandwich of super kicks to the head by Gargano and Champa get the win for them. It's good. It's a really feel good thing because you got the Hype Bros that are, like I said about the ladies earlier, the Hype Bros are baby faces. Gargano's a baby face. Gargano's over as fuck, isn't he? Champa sits there in the corner like an angry guy, like he could be heel at any given moment you need him to, but as part of this team, oh, my voice cracked there. That was great. As part of this team, he's babyface by default. I think it's really cool. Every time you see these guys in a tag team scenario, they choose that moment to push the Cruiserweight Classic. And you just sit there in the back of the mind because you can't suspend your disbelief. And you think, gee, I wonder if these guys are going to fight in the tournament. But Gargano and Champa get on the mic, talk about how they beat the Revival the week before they became champions again. We've beat everybody else. We're steamrolling through everybody. We want a title shot. American Alpha come back to an absolutely huge ovation in the NXT arena and say, you know what? One day you guys are going to get a title shot, and we wish you the best of luck. But right now we just lost our titles. We're the number 1 contenders. So right now, by the time you get a title shot, it's going to be you guys versus us. And I've been saying for a while now, build it, save it, and build it up to the takeover before WrestleMania. So don't do it now. Let it slow, let it simmer, let it burn, whatever. Gargano and Champa versus the American Alpha should main event a pay-per-view. It just should. The Revival come out and mock everybody, say nobody deserves a title shot. We're calling all the shots. Regal comes out to tell them that no, in fact, they do not call all the shots. And next week, we're going to get the Revival versus American Alpha one more time in a 2 out of 3 falls match. So next week is going to be a really good week of NXT, isn't it? He leaves, the Revival leave. Gargano and Champa kind of leave the ring. They part on a very tentative, respectful handshake with the American Alpha. The Authors of Pain come out predictably and jump the American Alpha again. And this is the great part, because typically you see in the babyface scenario, somebody's getting jumped, somebody else comes in and makes the save, the babyfaces stand tall. Gargano and Champa stand on the rampway. They watch the beatdown happen, and they really consider it for a second, but then they do try to go in and make the save, save American Alpha from the Authors of Pain, and they just get fucking owned. They try and fail. The Authors of Pain take control of the ring in a 2-on-4 scenario. Paul Ellering sitting there up at the top of the ramp like the big I am, with the big smile on his face like the cat that just ate the canary, and that's how we end the show. What this does, not only does it get me excited because, you know, American Alpha are going to get their titles back, and eventually they're going to get into a program with Gargano and Champa. Somewhere in the middle, they're going to take care of their business with the Authors of Pain. But what it really does is it really, in one segment, you've sort of underscored how great the tag team division is in NXT. You had that period of time where the one thing dominating NXT was their women's division, and then they moved most of it up to the main roster, and it kind of struggled for a bit, and it's finding its feet again. But right now, just right now, take a snapshot of the tag team division. Gargano and Champa, the Authors of Pain, the Hype Bros, the Revival, the American Alpha, Blake and Murphy sometimes, and they weren't involved tonight, but TM61, who I really want to see more of before I really develop an opinion. But there's not a team in there. Even the Revival are slowly turning me around. Blake and Murphy, with their constant breakup, makeup, are at least making it somewhat interesting now. They're not detracting from the career of Alexa Bliss, so I'm not angry about that anymore. There's not really a team on NXT anymore that I don't want to see on my screen. Blake and Murphy, I care about the least. They're still rocking the rapey vibe a little bit. Not quite cool with that. But, you know, they're kind of fucking off and doing whatever and getting their asses kicked one by one by guys like Nakamura and Aries. So they're serving their purpose as the punching bag jobbers that they are. And the rest of them, I'm going to say, once again, Gargano and Champa, the Authors of Pain, the Hype Bros, the Revival, the American Alpha, TM61, that's a tag team division. That's a tag team division that, I'm sorry, destroys the tag team division on Raw. And I don't usually like to be the guy making statements like that because it's very popular cup of coffee to say, oh, NXT is better than WWE. But in some cases, it's actually true. And yeah, so Bayley versus Bliss next week. American Alpha versus the Revival, 2 out of 3 falls next week. Bliss needs to keep moving up. Bliss versus Asuka needs to happen. Gargano and Champa versus the American Alpha need to happen. We got Balor versus Nakamura in 2 weeks. Figured it out. Everybody was sort of saying, why didn't they do this at the next takeover? The NXT that they are fighting on is the last NXT before the draft. Oh yes, I didn't put those 2 and 2 together last week, so I didn't say it last week. But gee, I wonder where Finn Balor's going. Anyways, I've been Spaz, your YWC reality check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I'm tagging out. Bye, guys.